absolutely loves it. And if you want, apparently you can like rent a house for like a week or two, just as sort of like an Airbnb
Just
and
try to.
see what it's like. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we might stay here. But we also, there, not having acreage and not having a giant house and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff has a lot of appeal at a certain point.
yeah.
But,
Well, Ocala is a horse country right around the area, so
well, that's why I
you
told my
don't have to
wife,
be
said,
there.
at one point more Kentucky Derby winners had come from Ocala than any place outside of Kentucky.
I believe it. I in college one summer I worked on a thoroughbred breeding farm, which was owned by Dreyfus, who was head of the New York Racing Association. It was certainly an experience for a couple of months.
Well,
Um,
Mark,
I wouldn't do it again,
No.
but I was a
Oh,
horse
that's
fan.
funny.
So, but the horse park is world class. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's growing. They're adding like another 100 acres to it, or some maybe it's 100,000 acres. I don't know, but it's impressive.
And there are hills.
Oh yeah, well, there are hills where we are.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
on
what's in the name, right?
Yeah, but
well,
they're
we're
10
we're off
feet tall.
Mondin Hill, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your hills are 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
I say we're in the mountains of Florida.
So my uncle lived almost at the top of the highest point in Florida, Sugarloaf Mountain, they
Probably
called it.
probably over by
By
in
Claire,
Colorado. Or you saying in Florida?
in Florida, like Colorado, no, like in the Claremont
Yeah, over
Mount
there.
Dora
As you
area.
say, yeah, yeah.
But I let my foot off the gas of my car coming out of his driveway and put it in neutral. And before I got to the bottom, I was on the brakes because I was going almost 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, yeah. There's some pretty strong hills around here.
Yeah. Brad, do you
well,
want to wait? You want to
yeah,
get started or?
let's go ahead and get started pretty soon here. We got six of us here. I know that one of our folks was in the hospital, so we'll
Ooh,
Oh,
be keeping praying for I'll think of it in a second here. I apologize. He's my local guy here in Franklin.
oh. And I know Doreen said
Not
she wasn't going
Debris.
to make it.
Yeah. Okay. And so anyhow, let's go ahead and get started to be true to everybody's time here. Uh, the welcome everybody to this April 3rd version of our cohort. I'm just share with you, I've been overcoming some bronchitis, so I'm mainly Craig's going to take over here and do his thing. And I do apologize. We had a little trouble technically last week on the bonus situation we had. But the only decision I kind of want to make sometime today before we end is if we're going to do another bonus next week or anything along that line. Other than that, we'll go meet again in 2 weeks from today. So that's basically what I have. And I know Craig has some good material to share with us here. And we'll take a look at that and also some time for some interactive things to do. So that's where we're at. I don't think anybody else is tuning in, so I think we're pretty much it here today. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get Bart in here. He's coming in. Let's get him in, then we'll get started.
If I start
Hello,
flopping
Brittany.
around,
It's
it's a
good.
seisure from Nancy's camera.
There you go.
sorry.
No, it's
Hey,
fine.
Bart, how you
I got
doing
these
there?
two webcams I'm playing with. Like, which one is going to work? And one
Okay.
wasn't
Hey,
working. Now
doing
I got it
okay.
back. So,
All right, good.
Yeah, I was
Bart,
multitasking and I just forgot about it.
No problem.
all right. Well, I think we're getting ready to get started here. And Bart, I think sometimes maybe you and Connie need to talk. You two are working on similar projects, so that's something
Okay.
to mention. But now, Craig, I think you've got the screen, my man. So let's get rolling.
All right. So, sorry, I'm going to do my rearranging of windows thing here. Have you noticed how Zoom always puts the window when you share in the least convenient spot possible?
or it
Yep.
So,
disappears.
yeah. So I want to do a couple of things today. One is go into more detail on creating your Write Like Me tool. This is where you can take your chat bot and turn it into something that can revise what comes out of Notebook LM to be much more in your writing style. There are two basic ways to do this. There are actually three, but the two main ways are to use a skill, which right now is available in Claude and some versions of ChatGPT, but more the enterprise versions that companies use. Then the other way is to create a custom GPT, as they're called in ChatGPT. There are also Gemini gems. Those used to be okay. They're playing around with them, so I'm really not comfortable with recommending gems, and that's GEM, like short for Gemini. I'm not comfortable recommending those right now, but if you really want to use Gemini, we can talk about that. So, does anybody use Gemini as their main writing AI? Okay,
do
then we
not.
won't worry about that. All right, that's good. I mean, I love Gemini. I use it all the time, but it just they're messing with the gems. So we are this little piece is setting up your environment. It's kind of a half a step back, but I want to make sure that we have this down pat. So here's my opinion, and I really want this mug.
Looks good. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ask me what should I use for this, my answer is unequivocally, without a doubt, Claude. Claude is the best at writing. I find it very good overall, but it's really good at writing. And as you'll see a little bit later, being able to use the skills is a massive advantage for Claude. Now, ChatGPT has introduced their skills, but right now it's only available in enterprise, the EDU, like the universities use, and team versions. It's not on even the Pro, the $200 a month, as of at least a couple of days ago, does not have access to skills yet. If ChatGPT comes up
Can
with
you back up
skills,
and explain what skills is in Claude? Because I'm not familiar with that.
yeah, so it's a way that you can tell Claude to go out and check how to do something.
Oh, so it's not like a custom GPT kind of thing.
It accomplishes some of the same things, but you don't have to start with it.
Okay.
I think it'll become clear when we actually do it, because it's one of those things that's hard to well, let me just show you.
Because I'm looking at they've got, and I've got like chat templates, my projects, artifacts, code.
And we're going to walk through how to do this. Are you seeing Claude now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all you do is type the slash key, and it brings up a list of these special instructions that you have loaded. And I've got Write Like Me or Write Like Craig, and AI GTC is my newsletter, AI Goes to College. And so now
Where do you store your special instructions?
well,
I'm sorry.
I'll get to that.
Okay,
We're going to
thank
walk
you.
through that, yeah. But I can do this from any chat at any time. So I could be at the end of a prompt and type this slash, and it'll work. In theory, if Claude thinks it needs the skill, it'll pull up the skill and use it. That's not going to work well for something like this, Write Like Me. But like if it needs to create a Word file, it's got an embedded skill for that it'll just do. But this slash is how you're going to pull it up for your Write Like Me skill. But we're going to walk through exactly how to create that.
You got to be on the paid version, right? Not the free.
Yeah, I think you've got to be in the paid version. And again, if you want to use ChatGPT, that's okay. But to me, for the duration of your book project, it's probably worth paying the 20 or 25 bucks a month for Claude. I mean, think of it this way. You're saving $800 on this course. So, you
Yeah,
got your
Craig,
choice.
I'm so sold on Claude since I've been using it. I just upgraded to the $100 a month version.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to get full
I'm using
access
the
to
paid version,
everything.
but
And
not.
Yeah,
I've done away with a couple of other things so I could pay for it.
the same thing here. And I pay for my ChatGPT Pro is for work, so the university pays for that. But the Claude Max I pay for, and it's awesome. All right, so, but if you want to use ChatGPT, it's okay. Now, in this session, we're also going to actually start writing our chapters. So here's the basic process. Regardless of how you want to do this, you get your writing samples together, and I would pick a number, 5 or 6. It could be 3, it could be 8. It depends on how long they are. Like I know Bart, yours are pretty short. Some of mine are pretty short. So you might want more than you would if you've got longer documents.
How about your
So
previous book?
um, that might be too long.
Okay.
Yeah, that might
Or
be
if
too
you,
long.
yeah, or if you give it the individual chapters, maybe.
Yeah, you could give it a few chapters out of your previous book if you have it that way. That'd be fine. And so what it's going to do is it's going to go through and analyze your style. And then that's going to be used to write the instructions that you can pull up when you want to take your Notebook LM chapters and turn them into your voice. And it's not going to get it right in the first time. These are actually probably backwards, so ignore this.
Do you upload your files on a project in Claude?
You could, but this is when you're creating your custom GPT or your skill.
Okay. All right. So you can
And
put as many as you want in there.
this is one of those things where it's harder to describe than it is to actually
Okay.
do. So yeah, I would get 5 or 10 pieces, pick a number. If you have 40, it's probably too many, or 25 is probably too many. 3 is probably not enough, but don't take that as gospel. And you want to also think about what makes your voice yours. So you can adjust the instructions after you have AI analyze. Any pet phrases that you might have, just anything that makes your writing distinctly yours. Words that you do use, things you might avoid. I like to make sure that I don't make claims that are just out of the blue. Because I'm an academic, I want to explain things. I use a lot of semicolons when I write, so things like that. You might always start with an opening story or a hook. You could put that in as part of your style. And also what not to include. And I'm going to show you examples of that, I think, in a little bit, if I can find them. They're called anti-examples. Like don't use M dashes. Triplets. I don't know if that's the right technical word, but that's good, that's awesome, that's great. You've seen that in AI writing, so you might want to avoid some things like that. Delve. For the love of all that's holy, don't delve into anything or take a deep dive. All right. And then you're either going to use a skill in Claude. Don't worry about this skill.md thing. That's kind of a technical piece. Or the GPT in ChatGPT. And I'm going to show you this in a second. All right. Before I did any of this, I would run my samples through AI and ask it to describe your writing style. What kind of tone do you have? What kind of phrasing do you use? That sort of thing, and have that as a reference as you're going through all of this. All right, so let me show you. So in Claude, you go into Claude and it's in Customize. You may see things online that says it's in Settings, but they moved it to Customize. And then you have skills and connectors. Connectors are just how you can connect to Canva, to Gmail, to Google Drive, whatever. We're not worried about that here. But the skills are what we care about. And I'm going to walk you through my skill. So here's the overall description. Draft practitioner articles for AI Goes to College and similar Substack style pieces in Craig's distinctive voice. Use this skill whenever the user wants to write articles for higher education audiences. And Claude put all of this together. But here's the real meat of it. It describes what the skill is. You're writing articles in the voice of Craig. You want to produce first draft articles that sound authentically like Craig. And it describes my tone and approach. Like I write in the first person, so I use I a lot. I also try to explain where I'm coming from, so I don't just say something. I'll say, here's how I arrived at that conclusion. I usually start off with a story. I love semicolons. I make a lot of parenthetical remarks. No em dashes, avoid triplets, shoot for short sentences, avoid generic AI stuff. I hate the it's not this, it's that. I'm a professor, I use bigger words. All right. And I'm not gonna read all of this to you. As an academic, I'm used to never making absolute statements, so I hedge a lot. This is what not to do. These are the anti-examples. Here's what I'll give it. Here's what it has to do. And it's got some examples here. And all of this is going to be in the course materials. So I'll give you this description. Obviously, yours is going to be a little bit different. But let's walk through how to do this. So you just click on the plus mark. Create a skill. You can do this different ways. You can kind of write this out yourself. If you really know what you're doing, you can get a skill from somewhere else. There are libraries of these skills that you can upload. We're going to create with Claude. So it's going to go through. We'll see how long this takes. Oh, I'm sorry. Zoom
You
strikes
don't need to
again.
upload examples that are necessarily related to the subject that you're going to be writing about, correct?
No, you don't necessarily, as long as it's your voice.
Okay.
So, all right, we want to. All right, this is my other podcast. And you just follow the prompts and see how it picked up on there's already a skill like Write Like Craig, AI Goes to College.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to answer these. Please don't laugh at my spelling. Told you I love
that it's
semicolons.
asking you what to do, like a newsletter versus a podcast show notes or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could say a mix of the above, whatever.
Or you can add things in, I guess. If it doesn't say podcast, you could add that in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. This is the part I was worried about. Bear with me because I should have been more prepared for this part. All right, so I just added three, and these, I did not select these well. I just grabbed the first three I could find, but I would spend a little time trying to pick your best writing, the ones that you like the most, the ones that people comment on the most or whatever. And I just put three. That's a little bit light. So if I was doing this for real, I'd give it more. All right, philosophical traditions. What else is it asking me? Whoops. All right. So I'm answering these questions, and now Claude is going to go do its thing. Do you ever expand? If you expand its thinking, you can kind of see what it's doing. Narrative driven. All right, so I really try to be practical with AI Goes to College. Live Well and Flourish is more philosophical and focused on wisdom. Look at this. This is pretty remarkable. AI Goes to College ends with here's what to do. Live Well and Flourish ends with here's how to see. It's more personal. Talk about the dogs a lot. So it's doing a lot of work here. Don't write like you're giving a TED talk. This isn't inspiration porn. Don't be preachy. That's awesome.
That is
Yeah,
funny.
inspiration porn, love it.
This is one of the reasons I love Claude. So this is just there.
Craig, just for my own information, I have Claude through Poe. Is that different than what we're talking about here?
Yeah, it probably is.
Okay.
Although I can't remember, we figured out what this was called last time in Poe, but there's a similar thing in Poe, like the custom GPTs.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad, I have a similar thing. I have Claude in Magi,
Okay.
but I wasn't able to do the same thing with Magi. Claude Magi's I'm able to do in full Claude.
Okay. I thought that was the case. I just thought I'd clarify.
Can you go in and revise your voice?
You can. You can go in and edit all of
Okay.
this.
Because I downloaded a few things and we started work and Claude started working with it and it wasn't exactly like my voice. And so I want to go in and edit and
Yeah.
add a lot more of what to do and what not to do.
And we'll look at that. Now this is kind of scary because I've literally done this. Both Maggie and Dallas are gone now, but I've kind of done this. This is exactly the kind of thing I would say. It's easier to talk about this than it is to actually do it.
You said that earlier today.
Did I really?
Yeah.
There you go. Now, this is absolutely the kind of parenthetical I would make. Not suggesting we should be dogs, though it does sound good some days. So this is pretty good. And now this is really, that's almost scary, because when I was running this podcast, I'd always say something like, "Be well, my friends," to end every time. So I'll just say that's quite good. If you ever had the chance to have crab stuffed beignets, you should do it. They are some kind of awesome.
Would make me some kind of dead because I'm allergic to shellfish, but
But
that's a different story.
Brad, you have to make your own choices. I'm just saying it might be worth the risk.
What a way to go, huh?
Just
I
have
think
your
it's a
EpiPen
fake
in one
crab,
hand.
right?
Yeah. So you can see, here's the skill. And let's say that I'm going to save the skill because I want to keep that. Now, Connie, to your question, so I'm going to go back into customize, skills, and then I can edit this. So let's say that I wanted to come in and add Taoism as another philosophy, or Epicureanism, or something like that. I can do that here.
Okay.
If there's something I forgot, just put it in.
Or you could spend a week playing with some of these things and getting them to a point where you wanted them to be.
You could. I mean, and this is worth investing a little bit of time in.
Right.
Although I would not try to push it to 100%. You know, if you can get it 75% like
That
you,
would be good, right? Yeah.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I would shoot for. And it's interesting what it picks up on. So I don't want to sound like a philosophy professor. So I try to mention one or two. Sometimes I'll try to contrast or say, you know, if you've got Buddhism on one hand and Stoicism coming to the same conclusion, you might want to pay attention. You know, that kind of thing. This is really good. Don't rush the opening. Let the story unfold into the real message. Yeah, so it's got examples here.
Greg, you said you were going to give us a copy of your AI Goes to College
Yes.
one. I like what you did with the do not do. Kind of, it'll help as a
Yeah.
reference to tell it what not to do.
And I've got a file. I just need to coordinate with Brad here in the next few days with anti-examples,
Yes, I love
what not to
those.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've got them in Google Docs, so I just need to get the links to
Okay.
And this whole
Brad.
session's being recorded, right? So we can go back and look at it
Yeah.
again.
Yes, it's recording everything, and then all the PowerPoints will be in the
Yeah.
resource
Great, thank you.
section, and anything else Craig wants to put in there either, other documentation.
And
Yeah.
I put something in the resources section of Heartbeat. I'm
I
not sure
saw
if it
that,
actually
yeah.
worked. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. It's how your instructions on how to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I found interesting is I had uploaded my book, which has a very simple illustration style in it, and asked it to do this is not Claude, but Notebook, to do a series of, I don't know what it was, like slides or something. It pulled the images and created new
Oh,
images,
wow.
just like the format and the style that I was using.
That's pretty awesome.
It was like, whoa, okay.
And it's just going to get better.
It was the flashcards. That's what was in it. This is what it did. No, that wasn't. It was something else. Must have been PowerPoint.
So, but do you get the idea here?
Yeah.
And it'll work kind of like this with the custom GPTs. But what's really great about this, and sorry, if I pause and struggle for a second, it's because I'm trying to rearrange Zoom. So I can change whatever I want in here and then save it, and it'll update. And so
Okay,
now,
that's good because I'm really tired of seeing it's like I see what you mean about writing like AI, and that's what it was giving me. And I'd only given it like I think maybe three or four of my sources, my pieces of work. And I mean, there was like dashes all over the place, and
oh
I don't write
yeah,
like that. I mean, so it's good to know what not to do. So I'll have to put that in there.
yeah, and I'll if you want to grab this, I'm going to put this in chat so you can have it right away.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
It'd be great.
So yeah, if you just go into chat, you should be able to just copy and paste. Yeah, you can copy. If you click on the three little dots underneath that in the chat window, there's a copy you can have. You can just copy this. And Craig, I'm going to put my email address in the. Just feel free to email me too.
You know, Craig, I think this would be really also a great tool if if you saw, let's say, somebody who you admired their writing and there was something in it that you really liked or a pattern that they had to be able to take some of their words and then or their examples and say, upload this, teach me how to write like this.
Yeah, you could do that. The other thing, so you could create a skill to
Right.
help you write like that person, or what I might do is maybe work outside of skills, and you could do this in any of the chat bots. Say, here's some of my writing, here's some writing I admire. What are the differences?
Ah,
And then
okay. So
maybe
you
you
can
can
make it
work,
your own.
and then you can go in and edit the skill to try to push on some of those differences.
Great, because you look at how some of the story arc people are out there that are exceptional at it, but sometimes getting that into your brain so it becomes a muscle on how to do that and not drift is not so easy.
Well, and so there, something we're going to do probably next week is building a skill that will act like your editor.
Okay.
And so that could be the ideal thing to put into your editor skill. You know, examine the narrative arc, and then you'll have whatever you did on your analysis of the other writer to ensure that it has this structure or these flow elements or whatever it might be.
Right.
So, you know, you have to play around with this stuff, but it's getting more and more powerful. I mean, you can see I've got skills for academic journal articles. I've got one that will go in and find pull quotes from my transcripts, analyzing whether or not writing is memorable. This is just experimental design for research. I'm not sure what I was doing here.
So the memorable one is kind of interesting. So what you consider memorable and what somebody else considers memorable can be two different things. How do you, I guess that becomes a bigger challenge, right?
Yeah, yeah. Although there are principles,
Right.
right? And so, you know, it goes out and
The
checks.
psychological principles, right?
Yeah.
NLP stuff.
Like here's, but this is something that I would have negotiated with it. Be bold but defensible. So I don't want to be clickbaity. When I built
Right.
this, I specifically remember saying, don't be clickbaity. I also want it to identify hedges. So in the academic world, you're really careful about making claims.
Okay.
So we hedge a lot. And so,
Hypothetically,
yeah, yeah.
I had a law
May
professor.
when I use may and some so often in my academic writing, so I don't want that to slide into some of this other writing because it's soft and not memorable.
Mhm.
All right, I want to take a breath here. Any questions about this? All right. And I'm gonna. I don't. I think I'm gonna not look at the slides anymore. But I'll just refer you to them. I know I'm going through this really fast. I just want to see if there's anything I'm gonna miss here because I think it's going to be more productive if we just do this. So let me go into ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, and this should be available in any paid version of ChatGPT, right? This is right now. I'm on the $20 a month version. So you go into GPTs, just click on GPTs. Whoops. I guess you have to click on Explore GPTs. And then up in the upper upper right hand corner, click on Create. You can just configure this if you've done this a bunch of times. I would use Create, where it's going to walk you through. Want to create a GPT that will write in my style. All right, so pretty similar to what we did with Claude.
Having to upload the source material here, or is it going out and pulling your podcast?
Probably going to have to upload it. Let's see what it does. And this irritates me. I don't really need you to take the time to generate a profile picture. Great. It's like dead air in radio. So I'm going to try something here. I am going to add those same, whoops. Now, let me back up. It might have been better if I would have worked with ChatGPT to get a very detailed description of my style. But we're going to see if we can't do it here. All right, here's some writing samples. Please analyze them and use the analysis for the GPT instructions. Now, if you had done this outside of the GPT creation process, you could have put all of this in the configure. And so now it's got some information. See, I don't know if you noticed that change, but it just pulled in key stylistic markers. And this looks kind of similar to what we saw in the Claude. This is pretty good. Although I'm not sure what lightly self-aware means. That should concern me.
Makes you wonder what heavy self-aware is.
Yeah, it's like, wait a second. Something I should work on? Is that self-aware?
Yes, and AI loves to say use heavy as an adjective and silent.
Silent. Um, all right, sure. This is a good, I'm pointing my screen like you can see it. Shorter, punchier sentences. NGTH. When I look at this, I realize somebody got paid to write the code for that little icon right there, just to keep us all entertained.
I hope not too much. It wasn't that entertaining.
No.
Nike only paid $50 for that swish.
All right, so we can try it here. I'm going to give it about the same 500 to 750. Whoops. All right. That's irritating. There's an M dash. This picks up, or this is a phrase that I've used as a title, between the drought and the deluge. So it's not bad. We got to get rid of these M dashes. All right, so those probably aren't in. What I would do if I was doing this again is I would have gone to that list of things to avoid and put that in manually. All right, so let's try that same thing again. No, this isn't bad. Now, I know there's no way for y'all to judge this. This is not as close as Claude was by a fair margin to the way I write. I mean, it's not bad. To me, it doesn't read like AI, but I would want to work with this some more to get it in my voice. So Claude did better at the first pass. You could, in all likelihood, get ChatGPT to have similar performance to Claude, but it might take a little bit more work. And we'll see that somewhere in here, Oh, here we go. Don't use M dashes. Don't use the triplet construction. So it added this based on the last round. All right, questions? Are you getting this?
So Craig, say if you have like a previous book manuscript, would you start with Claude or Chat GPT kind of asking it to analyze the manuscript and kind of define your writing and your voice style?
I think either one would be equally good for that. I mean, it almost depends on the day. So right now, I think Claude is better all
Okay.
around, but they're constantly tweaking these models, and for that analysis, I think either one would be
Okay.
pretty solid.
Okay.
So I wouldn't go out and buy Claude just to do that.
Okay. But you're saying to build kind of the skill, use Claude for.
Yeah, well, let me show you another reason that I like Claude. I want to show you one more thing here. This is a hidden deal. So ChatGPT has what's called a model router. What it does is it tries to look at your task and figure out what level of model it should use. Should it use its best model or should it use a lower quality model? And for a lot of things, the lower quality models are fine, the less powerful models. So for most things, they're fine. If you use this no recommended model, you're going to have to choose the model, which is okay. You just have to remember to do it. Right now, 5.4 thinking is their best model. If you're using it a lot, you could run out of credits. They don't really call them credits, but essentially running out of credits. But you just want to be careful about this. I would probably leave it as no recommended model, but then you're going to have to choose your own model. So right now, this GPT doesn't exist. We have to remember to click on Create. And now you can make it public. You can put it in the GPT store, which I don't think anybody's ever made any money off of. You can make it just you. I kind of don't care, so I'm going to save it. And if you want to see it, I'll put the link in the chat. Whoops. Try that again. And if for some unknown reason you wanted to write like me, you could use it. All right, so now we'll just go to a new chat. But here's where it's a little different. You have to somehow call that GPT I think you have to click on it. Now you're using that GPT. It's a little extra step. Let's see. All right. And this is pretty good. But notice how quickly it answered. It's because I didn't tell it to pick a particular model. So let's compare. This time I'm going to, new chat. I don't even see how I can pick the model. Oh, I have to do slash and thinking. So it's going to take a lot longer to write this time, a little bit. So the GPTs work. They're just a little kludgier. There's a little more that you have to do with them. But if you've already got ChatGPT, try this. If you don't like the way it works, check out Claude. If you do like the way it works, stick with ChatGPT.
So you're recommending when you're asking it to analyze like a piece of your work and define your voice to leverage the GPT versus just a regular chat?
No, if you wanted to analyze your voice, I would use the regular chat and use a thinking model.
Okay.
So I would absolutely choose maybe even the extended thinking model if you want it to really do that right. And just add the files. And I'd say analyze. Just once, I want to see this flash. Oh, God, not this stuff again. This guy asked the same crap over and over again. Can he get it right?
Like, how many times
Yeah.
do I have to answer this?
We've already been over this.
Kind of like us humans, right? Sometimes we have to redo things, re-ask questions.
That's right.
Krista points out that we've already gone over this a few times.
Yeah,
ChatGPT doesn't do that to me.
it does not.
It's the third day in a row you've told me that. I don't even mention the AI mode for sound reduction on the P4 next, because apparently for about a month straight I mentioned it every time we recorded.
That's funny.
I
So
used
you
that
could-
tool for the first time the other day. I like it.
I love it.
So you can see,
Mm-hmm.
and then I might ask it to turn this into a concise set of instructions for the custom GPT. That would work.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. That was helpful.
Y'all are most welcome. You want a little comic relief?
Sure.
Sure, lay
Time
it
for
on
what
us.
we call this a cognitive break. So I asked Gemini to create what it thought I looked like.
You're looking
This is
good,
what it
Craig.
came up with.
Pretty close.
Yeah, looking good.
Like,
So as your student said, at least it thought you were hot.
that's right. That's right. At least I thought I was hot. So
Oh, goodness.
that was fun.
Fine.
Okay. So if you're ever worried about AI taking over the world soon, just remember how bad it can be, how wrong it can be.
You too could be hot.
That's right.
I'm afraid to ask.
to quote Austin Powers, that train has sailed. Oh, here we
I
go.
just feel for the girl who's made. She made it put in something about what do I look like, and it
got
popped
this.
up with your picture, man.
There you go. So actually, I didn't realize it would do this. So it's given you exactly what to put in. So that's pretty good.
So who needs college anymore?
I like that bottom one.
Don't say that.
Starting with something.
You can
Yeah.
retire.
Put job security there.
So, Mark, I'm sorry.
I like that bottom one with if you only keep one instruction, keep this one, and gives you start with something specific and human.
Yeah.
Your audio is really low, Mark.
What?
Your audio is low.
I can't hear you.
I wonder why all the AIs hate TED
Buddy,
Talks.
I can fix that.
There we
There
go.
you go. That's better.
All right. So do we kind of have the idea here? And I want to reiterate, Brad and I are doing this to kind of test the waters, but also to understand what's going to be helpful if we decide to do this again in the future. So I want to encourage you, if you run into problems with anything, get in touch with me and we can jump on a Zoom call and just kind of walk through what the problem is. It'll be helpful to me as well. So I really absolutely love doing that kind of thing. So
I find it really helpful doing the Chat GTP and the Claude deep dive here today as well. So if you had, Craig, if you had to kind of choose, if you had a somewhat limited budget, like for right now, I'm paying out the $20 a month for the Google LM 300. But if I was going to spend another $100 on tools, Claude, ChatGTP, whatever. I know you've leaned towards Claude, but you've also indicated some ChatGTP.
yeah,
Where would you lean?
Claude, absolutely Claude. I don't use ChatGPT nearly as much as I did a few months ago because Claude just seems so much better to me right now. But that being said, if you're comfortable with ChatGPT and that's what you're used to, try ChatGPT. You might be able to get it to dial in and have it be just fine. So, your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
I like driving a big old pickup truck. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with, driving a sports car. So,
Meow.
yeah,
Well, I'm actually really liking Claude, but I've been using it within the Poe framework, and I'm just seeing all these, massive capabilities if I expand the program there.
well, now let me talk about that just for a second. So, if you figure out whatever Poe's version of the custom GPT is, and I don't remember what they call it, but it exists.
It's got Sonnet and it's got Claude.
No, there's
There's two Claudes under there. I forget what they're called. One's Sonnet and something else.
all right. So they're called custom bots.
Okay.
Set up a custom bot, kind of the same way we did with the custom GPT, and then use the Claude model with that bot. Set up that bot to use the Claude model, and it may be fine.
Right.
I ended up, I wasn't using Poe, so I don't have the paid subscription anymore, so I can't test it, but it should work about the same way.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
you're going to be using Claude under the hood.
Right. So I bought the year subscription about a year ago now. And so I'm at a point where they try to decide kind of what's next tools wise.
With all of these, I would try it with what you've got, and if you're happy with the results, stick with it. But their bots are supposed to be the same kind of thing as as the custom GPT.
Greg, for kind of to address Brad's question, Brad, if you want Claude to do some agent things for you, then that's something it couldn't do within Poe, and you'd have co-work if you at least
Right.
went to the $20.
Right.
And
That's one thing.
Just
Think
a
about
just
that.
a thought.
that might
Yeah.
be something to do extra session on as co-work because it's pretty different and
And
in
isn't
a
there
good
some
way.
risk? I mean, I've heard the risk on Cohort and that it basically can take over your computer. I mean, that's kind of, I'm
Yeah,
thinking, all right,
you have
don't
to
get panic about it.
You have to be careful. Like I would not tell it to reorganize my hard drive.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it can do that, and I actually ask it to organize my
I didn't tell
downloads
my
folder.
husband to do that.
I did tell it to organize my downloads folder, and it did a good job. But if I lost everything in the downloads folder, it didn't matter.
Okay.
But I mean, I've had it write entire academic articles just as a test.
Yeah,
And
the
it does.
programming, I like
I've had it put
technology.
together. I've had it put together a complete PowerPoint. I
Oh
just
yeah.
gave it what I wanted it to say, and it's a beautiful PowerPoint. My words, but beautiful PowerPoint.
Well, there are
So
other programs that can do that too. It's just, it's nice to be able to put it all under
Yeah,
one
but if you
roof,
already
right?
have it,
No, it's not, I agree. Yeah.
yeah, no one paying for
yeah,
something else.
The other
Do
thing
we,
I would
do
say
we,
that chat is really good for, and I mean, I use it for my book and I've used it in a number of things, is the visuals. I mean, if you want to create any kind of artwork, it can,
And
I've had artists say, who did this for you?
and Claude doesn't do
Claude is
that at
not,
all.
no.
Not at
So,
all.
and I've been able to use chat for that, as well as starting some ideas just to sort of see where it's going to go. But it does,
So
you
it's
can only push it so far.
and there's an analogy that will kind of work here. Chat GPT and Gemini are kind of Swiss Army knives.
Hmm.
Claude is a knife or a pair of pliers or whatever tool that you want. It kind of does its thing and it does it really well, but it doesn't do other things.
Hmm.
So it doesn't do images. It's not going to create audio. It will create diagrams and stuff, but in a weird way that I wouldn't want to publish. But
But you
it's
can take
really
that
good
and
at
put it into
language.
the others
Now,
and use
now,
it.
Craig, I have had Claude put together. With my consulting, I do demographics and psychographics.
Yep.
Also, they give me their giving and everything. And I had it give me I gave it the data and it put together a graph that
No,
graphs that
no,
look
it
pretty
will.
good, line
It,
graphs. And
what it does is it's going to take that and it's going to go out and actually write a program
mhm,
pulling in these algorithms, these
yeah,
packages
yeah, it
that
wrote
do
pretty
things like
graphs.
graphing. Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's not going to draw a picture of a cat for
No,
you.
no, 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 of course not.
But well, let me shift gears here. And I've got slides on this, but I'm going to go outside the slides because I don't think they're really that necessary. And how to work this into your workflow. And I'm going to use Claude and Notebook LM. I've got some prompts in the slides, and I'll show you those in a minute. But now we've got our environment set up. Now we actually want to start creating chapters. So I'm going to go into my Notebook LM for my book, Architecture of Flourishing. And I just told it, you're seeing Notebook LM now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what I did is I went into my Architecture of Flourishing. This is the document I created with all my chapters. So a description of all my chapters.
In
So
Claude.
yeah, I created this with both Notebook LM and then into Claude. So
Okay.
Claude created this,
All right.
but ChatGPT could have done this as well.
Sure.
And I'm going to write this third chapter. So I'm literally just going to copy what I already created, which is the detailed description of the chapter. I'm going to go into Claude, back to a chat, and I'm going to say write a 1,500 to 2,000 word. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. I didn't do this right. I'm going to go into my project that I set up earlier for Architecture of Flourishing. It's important to work in your project because it's got everything about the book in here. All right, and then I'm going to hit the slash key and do my write like Craig, live well and flourish. Right, that's going to invoke that style. And now I'm putting in the description. I'm going to use Opus 4.6, which is their best model. And in, I don't know, a minute or two, we should have a chapter. Oh, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. Forget all of that.
Proof is gone.
Sorry, I should have. I got ahead of myself. What happens when I get all excited? Especially when you've been up since 3. Now, when I'm actually working on my book, I would probably go into this description in kind of my master outline document and refine it a little bit. Make sure that it's kind of exactly the way I want it. I think this is going to be okay, but it could probably be better.
Talking about hedging, kind of exactly.
Sort of. Sort of precisely.
Kind
It
of, sort of.
depends.
It depends. Yeah, that's right. Reality is just a construct. So. So it's writing, 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 writing.
So your prompt was a 2,500 word chapter based on.
Yeah, just, I mean, I'm a fan of simple prompts a lot of times.
Yeah.
But there is, in the stuff we're going to have up on Heartbeat, there's a more detailed prompt, and it's in the slides for today. So I'm going to save this to a note. So I've got it over here in my studio section.
Now, Craig, I have a question.
Sure.
I know you're using Notebook LM, and you've asked it to write whatever 1,500 to 2,000. What if you don't have that many words concerning that? I think you'd said the other day that Notebook LM doesn't write AI write, but it writes based on your
Yeah.
words. Or is it literally doing like an AI task here and
Well,
creating
that's
a chapter?
before you got on, we were talking about that. And in theory, it should not go outside of your materials. But Nancy and I have both had experiences where it has recently. So what I would do,
So what it's doing here for you is it's just writing. Is it using?
it's
Is it
just
taking
using,
from your words, but
yeah,
it's
just
also creating new sentences and
no.
new?
It's just, well, it's not okay. So it's pulling from my ideas, from my
Right,
content. It's not pulling my sentences.
right. It's pulling from your ideas,
Right.
but it's still
Yeah,
writing new material,
that's
basically.
right. It's creating new content based on my content,
Okay.
repackaging. So like if you had a topic that pulled across 6 or 8 of your episodes, it would use all of that information to create the new
Right.
content. So you don't have
Again, the
to
reason I'm
have,
asking is, as you know, I have such short episodes, and I may only have 15 minutes worth of a particular topic.
but you've got like 300 of them, right?
Oh yeah, but they're all on different verses, different topics, different.
So if you want it's really going to depend on the scope. So if
So let's
you
say,
need,
let's say I look at my mind map, and one of the things that mine came up with was spiritual disciplines. My point that I want to thinking of the spiritual disciplines for first responders,
okay.
but I only have maybe 15 minutes worth of content on the spiritual disciplines.
So here's
That's
what
why
I
I'm
would,
asking. It would have to create a whole lot of
so
extra
here,
information.
here's what I would do. I would go to your mind map, click out to that item, and then click on it. And that's going to write something just based on what the sources have to say about that little subtopic. See what that looks like.
Okay.
You could also shorten and maybe refine your prompt a little bit. So let's say that you want to have a 2,000 word chapter and you're going to build out around the idea of spirituality. You're going to tailor it to first responders, which maybe you don't have in your content. I
Right.
would say write something about spirituality as it applies to stressful situations or traumatic situations or something like that. And then you could use Claude to write the piece about first responders, because Claude will go out and find other things.
Mm-hmm.
But you might have to experiment a little bit. I mean,
Right.
you're all
Right.
gonna have to experiment a little bit, because we're kind of making this stuff up as we go along. So, all right. So now but see how it wrote just this little bit about purposefulness, which is that why of life. After I clicked on the why of life. All right. So now we've got what Notebook LM wrote, and you can see it is not really in my style. I mean, it's got the M dash here. I mean, it's not bad. And I'm not going to take the time to point all of this out, but I will point out this seal method of reflection is something I made up. So it's absolutely drawing from my material. I talk about character and your excellence never being finished. This instruction, practice, habit, being is the way I frame Aristotle. So it's definitely pulling from my material. So I just copied that to the clipboard. Now I'm going to go into Claude and put that same basic prompt in. Telling it it's chapter 3, and I'm going to do the write like Craig, live well and flourish skill. So you obviously would adjust the 1500 to 2000, give it a range. It's going to do a little bit better. Any other context you want to give it, if you want it to take a particular angle, if you want it to put any placeholders in, like a placeholder for the opening story or something along those lines, you can add to whatever you need to add to this prompt. So it's reading my writing skill. It's reading, it went back and looked at this is why you want to use a project. So it went in here and looked at the document and the project that has the book's overall architecture. Now it's writing. I'm sorry, that's pretty
Maybe
awesome.
I maybe I missed that, but did you give Claude the chapter that Notebook LM wrote?
Yes, yeah, I pasted it in.
Okay.
So that's, if you look,
Okay.
this is the,
Oh, that's just the.
oh,
Oh,
wait.
that's not the chapter that it
No, I
wrote.
didn't
It's
either.
just the description.
God, I need a nap.
You didn't give it the chapter that Notebook LM wrote.
I kind of want to see what it comes up with, but that's a good
Yeah.
catch. Sorry. We'll try that again.
He'll probably just write a chapter.
Yeah, but this is actually an interesting experiment. I'm going to pretend I did this on purpose. Let's all just rewind. Bart never asked that question. Because I've got a lot of the content in this project, it could be pretty good. I mean, this is right. Characters built, not born. But I'm not seeing. I don't know. This isn't bad. I probably would not say parallel conclusion. All right, so let's try this again. Give me just a second. Let me go back. I'm going to make sure because I'm kind of losing track here. Copy. Now I'm going to go back in here and paste. Whoops. All right, there we go. Another thing, ChatGPT will kind of do this, but I really like this. I think they call it Canvas, where I can see what it's written along with the chat. So if I could, if I wanted to just fix some of this, I could tell it to just fix part of this within the chat.
And then if you wanted Claude to write a longer chapter, you could tell it to expand.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you could, if it's really long, you could do this in sections. I mean, you can kind of do what you need to do.
Hey,
This is interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
sorry. I just got a question for you. I know it's all about process and steps. We've kind of been going back and forth between different tools, but I don't know, kind of how I've seen it in my mind. Like once you kind of have AI define your writing voice, your writing style, do you really need to utilize Notebook LM? Couldn't you go just straight to Claude to,
You potentially could. It would depend on how much content you had.
okay.
So the good thing about Notebook LM is it can absorb a huge amount of content, 300 documents. Claude can't do that, and ChatGPT can't do that. So I'll show you in a minute in the Claude project how much I've used up of its kind of, think of it as its storage.
Understood.
So, but it really would depend. And there's nothing wrong with trying using just Claude or just ChatGPT when you get to this stage. Because if you could, it would cut out a step.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you couldn't upload as much information into the project as you can in Notebook LM.
Right. And the question is whether or not that limit matters for you.
Yeah. I don't think for me it would really matter because I'm not uploading like 300.
Well, the other thing, Brittany, with you is you probably could get a lot of your content from outside sources. If you told it to consult PMBOK, which is a project management body of knowledge,
Right.
that could cut out a lot of what you might normally have in Notebook LM. So I would play with it.
Yeah, that's kind of Craig where I'm thinking in my mind I'm going to do. Like I said, I tried to leverage Notebook LM and wasn't getting the results. So I think what you showed us today, I'm gonna retry the process, but go directly into Claude.
Yeah, and that could work really well for you, especially the other thing the Notebook LM is good at is that organization. I love that mind map.
Mhm.
It also references its sources, which you can probably force Claude to do, but it's not going to do on its own. So that might have some advantages too.
I already have sources, I already have like case studies built into a lot of the podcast episodes I do.
Well, let me explain this a little bit differently. So Claude will make stuff up. They all will. But you may not know it as readily because it's not going to cite its sources. Now, if you know, I mean, you do this so much and you've done it for so long, you might know if it's got something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was writing in my real area of expertise, I would know if it was getting something wrong.
Right.
So I don't necessarily need to verify the sources. I'm just going to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like this story is totally made up. Totally. Notebook LM would not have done that. But it's okay. I mean, it's easy enough for me to go in and put a different story in here.
Right.
Th- And this is awesome because that's exactly the kind of thing I would write. I often use this stay with me. Like I'm going to actually make a point here. Just let me build to it.
Okay.
Brittany, I've done something similar with mine because I have a lot of things that I've done that I already have that are fairly long that would be in the area of what I'm writing this book on. And I've already done that. And if Claude gives me something, I'll go in back and ask it. I said, "Where did you find this? Please give me a clickable link to the source." And if it can't, it'll literally say, "Well, I can't find this." But I know when it's making something up because it's as Craig said, it's in my area of expertise. So
You
I
can
know it's not
almost
true.
you can almost picture it at hanging its head and kicking at the dirt and going, "Oh shucks, Mister
Oh,
Barr, I made that one up." Yeah,
It apologizes. I'm so sorry.
yeah. I just wanted to make you happy.
Okay.
Well, let me ask a question here as we're kind of getting closer to our ending time. You mentioned earlier, Craig, about maybe um, possibility of doing like a bonus session or something like that about Claude projects and that kind of thing. I just want to see if there's any energy about doing something
Okay.
like that, or if we want to, make it available.
Well,
Otherwise, our next scheduled time would be 2 weeks from today, but we, did have a bonus session last Friday. We could possibly schedule one for next Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested also, you can use Claude for programming, so I'm not sure, I'm not a
yeah.
programmer, so I don't necessarily know sure how that
Well,
works.
let's do this. Let's call it co-work and ask us anything.
Okay.
Okay.
So it can. I mean, I'll go over some stuff in co-work, and Bart, maybe you can share
Craig, yeah, Craig, have you used anything in Claude Code?
a little bit. But co-work does most of what I would do in code.
That's what I found.
Yeah,
So
I
we
mean,
don't need to be
Okay.
detailed
Unless
with
you have
it.
a very complicated project, code would be.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I think if you really have a lot of expertise, code is probably more efficient.
Okay.
But co-work is a wrapper around code, so it's actually running code under the hood.
And like
So
what
Okay. Well,
basically,
that
tools
makes sense.
okay.
we're looking at a
Yeah.
bonus session next week with the general theme of Claude co-work, but kind of an ask me anything type of thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
That works.
uh,
I'm good with it.
Office hours.
just kind of polling who's here would be those who are here right now. Would you be interested in a bonus session next Friday?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good with it.
Yeah.
So I want to. All right, so we'll just same bat time, same bat channel.
Hmm.
Okay.
Same sounds good to me. I think that's be fine. And then we would have our regular session. So that'd be the 10th, and a regular session on the 17th.
All right, and then for the regular session, it's going to. I want to shift gears, starting in the next regular session, into to doing more of like what we did today, which isn't really shifting gears, I suppose, because we're getting near the end. And so the big thing I want to do next time is try to figure out if we can do a skill about being your editor.
Mm.
Yeah.
But then we're in the phase now where we're just going to keep doing what we've done over and over and over again until your book is done. So what you do from here is I would copy this and put it in a Google Doc and then start editing it, or Word or whatever you use for your word processing.
One question I had along that general line, Craig, some time ago when we first started this process, you mentioned using Lex quite a bit for your actual word processing. Is that no
Yeah.
longer in your thinking?
Well, I'm afraid they're getting ready to abandon Lex.
Oh, okay.
I've
Well,
been interacting with the person that's in charge, and he's trying to push me into a different system.
Mm.
And
Right.
it still seems to work just fine mostly. So I'm not going to abandon it completely. So
Did you
I
see
wouldn't
some
get
red
rid of
flags?
it. But yeah, I'm starting to see some things that make me a little bit concerned that it's gonna be one of those products,
All right,
and it's too bad
fair
because I
enough.
love it.
Fair enough.
But
And
let me show you something really quickly in the 4 minutes we have left. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go into my architecture of flourishing, start up a new Google Doc, chapter 3. And then if I'm going to right click and do paste from Markdown, and it comes in formatted. So
And that's what I
Claude,
do.
all of the AIs use the kind of default to Markdown language. We talked about that before. It's kind of like HTML. So if it doesn't come in right, it's not that big a deal. You just have to do a little reformatting. I don't need that. Get the right. All right. So here's something I love to do. I either use Claude's plugin, and that will allow me to chat about this document. And so if you don't have the Claude plugin for Chrome, you might check it out.
Okay.
You can do this with pretty much any web page. Now, I'm going to show you a better way to do this, but I just wanted to mention,
I think I've got Bing or something like that.
yeah, it works pretty well.
Yeah.
But
Or
there's
Gemini.
used it.
Gemini's on there.
yeah, Gemini does the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got Gemini in there.
One of the things I don't like about this is it kind of takes over your browser a little bit, and so
Yeah.
it can cause some funky stuff. But it's kind of cool because you can see it scrolling around. Don't you like that it praises itself without knowing it's praising itself? This is a genuinely impressive piece of writing. Just
there you go.
once, I want it to say that, this is just crap.
This piece
Or, hey,
sucks.
this looks familiar.
Yeah. Are you claiming
Looks like
my
something I
work?
wrote.
Yeah. But he gives some a fair critique here. So that this works really well. Another thing you can do, I don't want to, but can I close this?
Hmm.
Everybody's still looking at it. But this isn't using the project, and if I go back into it, it'll see it's gone. So I kind of don't like that part of it. But here's something that's just awesome. So I'm going to describe what I'm doing. So I've got my document as my active tab. I'm going to come over here and right click on Claude and do new split tab with the current tab. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me side by side within Chrome. You can kind of do this on your own by fiddling with the windows, but this works really well.
Oh, nice, nice.
So here's the downside of it. I have to actually attach this file. So it's not going to just see what's in the other side like it did with the plugin. That's the downside.
I just wrote a lead magnet, finished it, and had Claude do this, and it had about 4 different suggestions that I really liked, and I went ahead and changed it.
Now you can see that this time it's going through and checking the project documents. Brad, are you okay with going a few minutes over?
I'm good.
Okay.
If everybody else is.
See, this is what the problem is with being online. If I was teaching my class right now, I'd know it was time to end because everybody would be slamming their notebooks closed and getting their backpacks out.
Yep.
Well, I gotta go.
Yeah, gotta go. Got another
Could you
class.
show how to open the two side by side again? Just real quickly.
Yeah, so you just so you select one of the windows you want, the tabs that you want to have.
Yeah.
You right click on the other one,
Oh, and just merge it that way.
and it'll say, well, I'll unsplit them in a second, then resplit them because I can't
Okay.
do it again while
While
it's
it's working.
currently split.
And can the two like talk to one another or no?
No, they don't.
Okay, so they're
So
just
they don't
basically
see, it's
two
just,
separate windows.
Yeah, it's just two separate windows. But what you can do is like, okay, this section's a little bit too professorish.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go in and change this and then
So you can
attach
see
it,
it side by side. Yeah.
but then attach it again
Okay.
after you change it.
Okay.
So when you want to unsplit these, you right click, arrange split view, and separate views.
Okay.
So all I did was, they don't have to be next to one another. So select one of the tabs, then right click on the other tab.
Oh, I just did it with another one. Okay, great. Thank you.
And Edge does the same kind of thing a little bit differently.
Yeah.
All right. If I was drinking, man, it'd be a time for a drink.
All right. Well, good. A good session today. Good. Lots of good stuff here. Thank you, Craig, for presenting. Lots of good stuff here.
Thank you.
I will load up the video and other materials. Hopefully by midday tomorrow, you'll have it on Heartbeat.
Hi, kitten.
Thank you.
And
see
We
Mark's
appreciate
kitty.
your time. Thank you.
and
Most welcome.
I'll send out notice about next week's bonus session. And that's about it. Anybody else have anything else for the good of the Cohort before we say goodbye?
We have a new cue of when it's time to quit. It's when Mark's cat starts bugging Mark. It's time.
There you go. There
For
you
the
go.
pastors,
Connie,
happy
what
happy
is your
Good
book
Friday and
about?
Happy Easter.
What is my book about?
Yeah, what
It's
Craig said something about it was similar.
oh, well, it's I don't know. It's kind of like it's a devotional book. It's in 4 segments, and starting with the turmoil and ending with the peace,
Okay.
and kind of like taking a lot of the things that I've written already on social media, or things that I've written in journal entries and things like that, and taking out just a little bit of the private stuff that I don't want to put out there. But as I told them earlier, it's I don't know if I'm going to put it on Amazon if God willing, I get that far. I'm going to put it on Amazon, but it's mostly for my family
Okay,
and
cool.
like that. So, yeah.
All right. Good
All
luck.
right. Sounds good. Maybe you
All
two
right.
can talk offline or something. Take care, everybody.
All right.
Blessings on you.
See
Have a
y'all.
blessed
See y'all.
Easter.
Happy
Thank you.
Easter.
Thank
Bye,
you.
you
Happy
too.
Easter.
See y'all.